Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome to the Many a True Nerd 10th Anniversary Special, and bloody hell, 10 years, a decade, that is ridiculous, and this is a very, very happy day for us, because not only is 10, a very big number, but as you may recall, we didn't have a 9th Anniversary Special. The last special was in fact 8 years, and the reason for that was, very sadly, just before we got to the 9th Anniversary Special, Tabby passed away. That was very sad indeed, and we didn't really feel like making, a special, silly anniversary special that year. But this year, we've got, well, I was about to say the opposite news. We don't have precisely the opposite news, because we haven't brought Tabby back from the dead. Because 1, that's impossible, and 2, movies generally agree that would end badly. Though what we do have is a brand new family member to introduce to you all. So say hello to our brand new dog, Ted. Ted is about 3 years old, and if you're wondering what sort of dog he is, there's not really an answer to that. He's sort of, yes, a little bit of everything. We even got like the genetic testing done, and it turns out he is a crossbreed between basically all the breeds. Though the most prominent is Spaniel and Boxer, which you might see a little bit in his face and body shape respectively. He's a very good boy and we absolutely love him. Which brings us to what we're doing here today, because you may recall an entire 5 years ago, we did something very special for Tabs back when she was with us, which was we immortalised her in art via the medium of cookery.
Okay, even by my standards, this is appalling. This is absolutely dreadful.
And so I thought, what better way could there be to welcome Ted to the family than by doing the same thing to him? And yes, if you think that sounds a bit more like a threat than a promise, you're not entirely wrong. So, step 1, how do we immortalise Ted in cake form? Because when we made a cake for Tabby, Tabby, being tabby coloured, as she was, she rather suits the chocolate cake. Plenty of chocolate icing drizzled over her in order to make, the tabby patterns. That was nice and easy, really. But Ted, as you probably, noticed, is a very different colour. He's very kind of white and tan with maybe bits of ginger around the outside. So I think I figured out precisely the right cake that would suit him. And that is the carrot cake. Because the carrot cake is just, it's magical. Because, okay, let's be honest here. The carrot, absolute D tier vegetable. Of all the vegetables going round the table at Christmas dinner, the carrot is the one I'm least excited by. Absolute bland failure of a vegetable. But put it in a cake, I love it. I don't understand it. It's magical. So that's what we're going to do. The carrot is orange. Ted's like a bit orange. Okay, this is just an excuse for me to make myself a carrot cake, but I really should not be getting myself this excited by the prospect of carrot cake, because I'm the one that's making it, so God only knows how it's going to turn out. I'm also going to say, I think I have found, for me, the perfect recipe to make a carrot cake, because as those of you who have, seen me try and bake something before will know, I kind of subscribe to the Daddle Flippy Do school of bakery, which is when the recipe says, oh, put in 500 grams, I kind of, probably get within 100 grams of that one way or the other, and kind of hope it works out. So thankfully, on this occasion, I found a recipe that doesn't call for me to be precise. No. It's using the best, by which I mean worst system for measuring ingredients. The cup system. You see, this here is a cup. And this is apparently like the cup that bakery uses. And the ingredient says just put 2 cups of flour into bowl. And that means no measuring, no weighing, no anything. I just randomly scoop some flour and then just shove it into a bowl. And I kind of simultaneously love and hate this, because I feel like I've just stumbled across some sort of new sub-imperial system of measurement. Like, there's the metric system, good. There's the imperial system, bad. And then back here, we've got flipping caveman bakery, where we're just saying, oh yeah, just put some stuff in a cup and dump it in. That was probably less than 2 cups. The cups weren't really filled up to the top or anything. It's I'm gonna put a bit more in, but I feel like that's, I think that's still a bit shy. Just tiny bit more than that. You know what? That's probably about 2 cups. So there we go. 2 cups, bakery sorters. Okay, next up, half a teaspoon of, well, it says fine sea salt. This is not fine sea salt. It's just generic table salt, but it's salt. It's sodium chloride. I'm sure it's fine. That's about half. It's probably over half. But to be honest, I like salted caramel. And, like, therefore, more salt is good. If anything, I should add more. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, this is the point where I start running into problems, because, right, those first 2 steps, they were nice and easy. Next up, the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Teaspoon, that's easy, that's a teaspoon. Yes, the baking soda. What I've got is I've got bicarbonate of soda, which I'm gonna be honest, like 75% sure is baking soda. Like, there are, like, baking things on the package. Like, right there, that's like a thing that would reasonably be baked. Like a pancake, I think like a big fluffy American pancake. But, like, I mean, it can't kill me, because as I say, there is literally, like, food on the packet. So I'm gonna work under the assumption this is right. So I'm gonna say 85% sure I am. So we're just gonna put in, like, it says teaspoons. It doesn't specify heat. Okay, this is like caveman bakery, and even then I can't figure it out. So we're just going to put in 2 there, and it's going to be fine. The bigger problem, however, is, yes, the final stage of the dry ingredients for the carrot cake is 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. I don't have ground cinnamon. I've got this. This wasn't planned. In fact, if anything, I think Claire might be trolling me right now, because Claire was the one who nipped out to get the cinnamon, and I think she's done this deliberately just to mess with me. Okay, what I've got is I've got this thing, which is like for, like, you know, grinding. I was going to use it to, like, you know, grind up the carrots in a minute, but, like, logically, it would work for, like, you know, this. So if I just, like, I mean, that is working, but 1, there's also, like, bigger flakes going in, and 2, okay, how the cock am I going to measure this? This is supposed to be... Okay, hang on, no. The amount of powder that's in... Oh, blimey, I just got hit by the smell of it. That's quite pungent. The amount of powder that's in there for, like, the... Yes, bicarbonate of soda is 2. It was 2. And it's 1.5 of this. So if I just kind of keep going like this, and then I'm going to have to get the big bits out afterwards. There are definitely some big bits that are not ground. So, like, I should have weighed this. If I'd weighed this, okay, there are so many, there are, like, big chunks. I don't think anyone wants big chunks of cinnamon in there. Oh, is there a better way? I don't know if there's a better way of doing this. And, like, as a matter of principle, once I've started, I don't look things up. We just sort of things that I almost just kind of did my own fingers there a little bit, but I'm sure it's all fine. I'm just going to add, like, if I put a whole one, hang on, I'm just going to get another one. I've got another one. If I put volumetrically, like this, on a teaspoon, I feel like a whole one of these would be heaped times 2 if you think about the volume. So therefore, if I just do, finish off this one, like this, and then, like, take out the big bits, I think that's going to be about 1.5, give or take. And the nice thing is, if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter, because cinnamon's delicious. Everyone knows cinnamon is delicious. So if there's too much cinnamon, it's like too much salt. Like, that's not a problem. That's a good thing. Don't threaten me with a good time. Okay, now what we do is we just pick out the big chunks. Okay, next up, this now needs to be, just whisked until it is very well balanced, according to the recipe. Now, the problem is, not really sure how to tell, like, when that is, because it is, like, 90% flour by volume. So, okay, fine, it's flour with, like, oh, hang on. There's definitely more bits of cinnamon bark. We just kind of didn't get out there. There's one. That's fine. We're going to just find more while we're doing this. But I'm not really sure how to tell, like, when it's finally balanced. Oh, hang on. There was definitely... There we go. There was another big one, too. We're just getting more. This is useful. This is a good part of the process. I don't know how to tell, like, when it's finely balanced, because, as I say, it's kind of just like... It's a white powder with some dots in it. I've mixed together 3 white powders and a few brown dots. Okay, so that there is the dry ingredients. This here is going to be the wet ingredients. So we're starting off with oil, apparently. So 1¼ cups of canola or other vegetable oil. I do not know what canola oil is, so we're going to use vegetable oil because I've got that. That feels like a lot of bloody oil, but oh, blimey, okay, some of it just spilled over the side. Only a tiny bit, just, like, compensate for that. Also, John, you shouldn't be using the full cup for this. Like, there's an entire set of these bastards. Like, this caveman cookery, there's, like, lots of it. I could have got the quarter cup out to get this right. Instead, I'm just kind of, okay, so apparently caveman cookery is still too much for me. So that's roughly a cup and a quarter of oil. Okay, next up comes the sugar, and this is where I'm getting worried. So, okay, step 1 cup of white sugar. That's easy. Literally just pour that out and pour it in, though I'm increasingly worried that I should have possibly used, yes, the dry ingredients in this bowl and the wet in that one, because I feel like the wet ingredients are going to be bigger and this is going to be difficult to whisk. But now I need to do the same with the brown sugar, but the brown sugar's like, it doesn't really pour. This is just a little bit more, little bit. Bit went in there. That's about, this should definitely have been in the bigger bowl. Okay, that's the sugar. And finally, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So, okay, that bit at least is nice and easy. So, okay, basically, we've mixed together oil and sugar. Good job. Okay, this is where I start having problems with the recipe, because the new paragraph in the recipe now says, add eggs 1 at a time, whisking after each one. But the problem is, it doesn't specify which bowl it wants them whisked into. Like, intuitively, I want to put the eggs into here, because mostly when you make cake, you put the eggs into the flour and whisk. But the most recent bowl we did something with was... What am I dripping into this? Is that supposed to be? I don't know, I'm dripping something into this anyway. But like, this is the bowl that we were working with most recently, which makes me think that's the bowl that should have... Oh, I'm supposed to be whisking this first anyway, well, that's fine. Okay, we're going to... How the cock do you whisk this? It's... Okay, it's... This is very, very sludgy, and also I cannot whisk it, like, that aggressively, because if I do, it is going to go over the edge. So we're just going to kind of make a lovely, lovely sludge, but, like, I'm going to be honest, it's not very Ted-coloured. So, okay, now it's time for the eggs, and I'm going to go for adding them to the wet mixture, because logically, the dry mixture ought to stay dry, and the wet mixture ought to stay wet, until such time as we blend them together, which isn't yet, that's like in a couple of steps. So I'm gonna add the eggs to this one, right here. Also worryingly, yes, there's no reference here to like whether we're talking like yolks, whites, or both. So in which case, it's just gonna be both. So just one goes in, and then we whisk. Again, this is very tricky to whisk, because it's all just kind of, yes, a thick sludge where I've got like no space to whisk, but it's all gonna be fine. Just do that 4 times, ideally not... Okay, I can clearly see there's like bits of solid egg, but then again, if there's like a bit of egg left over, I'll get it on the next whisk, so it's gonna be fine. Okay, so the eggs are in, but I've realised we've got a bit of a small problem, which is, 1, I'm supposed to whisk the eggs, which I'm trying to do, but I kind of can't because the bowl's too small. And 2, I've just looked ahead, and, yes, this isn't really a thing I do before I begin. We just kind of, go through the recipe as I go. So the next step is to add the dry ingredients, like here, into the wet ingredients here, and then that being done a third at a time until the batter is smooth. Okay, we're going to need to get a bigger bowl to move this into, which is good anyway, because that means I can whisk this a bit more, enthusiastically. Oh, now look at that. That actually looks like, significantly more pleasant to me. This actually looks good now, so okay. Next up, get the big bowl. Just check there's nothing else here. Yep, that's fine. Add in the dry ingredients, gently stirring, not whisking, okay? So you, buddy, you just wait over here once we've got all the delicious sugar and oil off you. Now we enter you in, like, third or thereabouts. That's about a third, I'd say. And it says gentle stirring. Okay, nothing too aggressive, just very gentle, like you're trying to rock it to sleep. Okay, just nice and calm, nice and easy, until, hang on, what's it supposed to look like here? So, until the dry ingredients disappear and the batter is smooth. Okay, that's going to be a bit of a problem, because it's sticking to the edges, so if I just kind of nudge it in, like gently aside from the bits, or I'm using a spoon to force it into the center of the bowl. But like, I will say it is disappearing. That's certainly true. This does appear to be working, and I won't deny it smells okay. I was about to say it smells good. What it smells of is cinnamon. Overwhelmingly, despite the amount of sugar and everything else floating around, I'm just smelling a lot of cinnamon. I think I may have done something wrong here, because the next step is, it says, stir in the carrots, which, I mean, I can do. Oh, hang on, I found it. Okay, well, this is bloody useless. So, right, like, during the actual directions, it doesn't mention what to do with the carrot. There's, like, a preamble at the start of the recipe that specifies you're supposed to, like, yes, peel and then shred the carrots, which... Put that in the directions, that's a direction. Why is like one of the directions up in the preamble? Well, this is bloody useless. Okay, I'm gonna go, like, flipping prepare some carrots. Okay, so I've prepped these carrots insofar as they're, like, you know, peeled and entered. But now what it says is they're supposed to be, like, in shreds, which I should do with, like, a hand grater. So, and this feels like a hand grater, but that is slow going. This is gonna, oh, there we go, that's a bit better. Just need to put a bit of, like, oh, hang on, how's this gonna work? This is gonna create shreds, but, like, if I go this side then, okay, if we just kind of, yeah, just really, really force them in, then that's gonna be fine, but this is gonna take a while, and I'm definitely gonna cut my own fingers off at some point. But also, this is supposed to take, like, 6 or so carrots, which feels like a lot of carrots, but then it is a carrot cake, so I guess, you know, what was I expecting, to be honest? Okay, I've decided, like, for the safety of my fingers, I'm going to use one more carrot than the recipe calls for, but also, like, stop shredding them at the point where we get to, like, here. Because that way, I'm not going to chop my own fingers off, which is, like, better, because I probably need them for subsequent steps. There we go, carrots. Probably not quite as many as, like, the recipe wanted, but it feels like a lot of carrots, and also I'm tired of grating carrots, so I feel like that's enough carrots. Next up, we also need pecans. So we're gonna have one like cup of pecans. How the cock do you measure pecans in a cup? Okay, that's probably about a cup. Hang on, one of the pecans fell in. Right, now these don't go in like this. They've got to be coarsely chopped. But that sounds like hard work, so I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna put them in a bowl, and I'm going to mash them with a potato masher, which doesn't fit in the bowl. Okay, the problem we've got here is there's nothing to stop them, like, this is not... Actually, you know what, they're sort of breaking. There's nothing to... Some of them are just escaping, but, like, I feel like the ones that aren't escaping are actually... If I just kind of keep some of them in the middle, this is coarsely... I mean, coarsely chopped, but it doesn't say how fine. Like, is this... Okay, you know what, I'll just take the survivors, and we'll just sort of, like... I've got a really good knife over here. The problem is this is the really good knife. This is like the really nice set of knives I got for Claire at one point, and I'm sort of scared of using them because they're like terrifyingly sharp. So I'm just going to sort of like vaguely poke at these with that. And honestly, I feel like when I have a carrot cake, what I'm after is like, it's not pecans. So I feel like if, like, you know, there's slightly less pecans than the recipe calls for, then that's absolutely fine. Right, so now everything comes together in a great big carroty, cinnamony, slightly pecany gloop. Okay, so what we've got now is the stuff that can become a Ted cake, but that's not why we're here. No. Why we're here is the work of art I'm about to create. So how do we go turning this sort of carroty mush into Ted? Well, I'm glad you asked because I have got a plan. You see, what I'm trying to do here today is make Ted's head. And when you really think about it, a dog's head has got like 2 constituent parts, okay? There's like the bit that's the main head with, like, you know, the ears here and here. But then off the front of that, you've also got the... I just dropped a carrot, that's fine, I've got spare carrot. There's like the snooty bits. So you've got like dog head, then you've got snoot, and then like ears on top, okay? Ear, snoot up the front. So all I need to do is bake constituent cake parts that like vaguely match up to that shape. So I went digging through the baking cabinet, and what I found was this lovely long thin baking tray right here. perfect to be Ted's muzzly snooty thing, okay? That's gonna be his nose. So that's perfect. But then I got to thinking, how am I going to do Ted's head? Because, like, heads are a weird shape. When you think about it, like, you know, they're going to be round on the top, but it needs to be, like, you know, flat on the bottom, so that, you know, it actually stands up when we're done with it. And that's when I had my genius idea, because I didn't have a baking pan that made sense to be Ted's head. But then I remembered, yes I do. What we're going to use to make Ted's head is this. And I know what you're thinking, John, that's Darth Vader. Shut up, stop laughing, okay? I'm serious, this is going to work. If you think about it, Darth Vader's head is actually very similar to a dog's. I mean, because obviously he's wearing a helmet, the top is smooth and round, and Ted is a short-haired dog, so that makes sense. The ears we can simply attach on with another component. We'll get to that later. Meanwhile, we've got convenient spots for the eyes right here, and Darth Vader's face mask, in some ways, could be the start of a snoot going in this direction if I simply attach that bit to the front of him. Like when we also, like, you know, say, as if it's actually, you know what? Thinking about it, like, the sides of the helmets, they could be like Ted's floppy ears. Like, if I just sculpt this slightly and then put a ton of icing sugar on it. Okay, I don't care what you think, this is a good idea. Okay, so next step is prep the baking tins, and this is where things might go like a little bit wrong, so I've just realised a problem. Which is, okay, this baking tin, that's fine. All I need to do is literally, like, stick in some baking paper and then, like, give it a spray with the magic baking spray. So seriously, you just stay down there, and then, like, spray you. I don't know how much, to be honest, but, like, some. So there we go. That's gonna be fine. We just put that in there. We pour the goo in. Congratulations, Ted has a nose. Darth Vader's gonna be more complicated because, well, then again, actually, you know what? Maybe it won't be, because if I just, like, put the paper in like this, and then just spray it, and then just straight away afterwards pour the goo on, then the weight will, like, weigh the paper down, and it's going to be fine. But apparently I need to do this step, because, like, this mixture is sticky and can get stuck in pans really easily. Okay, so this is going to be the moment when I figure out whether I've made enough, like, goo. Just pop that in there. Yeah, there we go. That's a good solid amount of goo. Let's pop that there. So that's Ted's head right there. And then the rest is going to go into... Okay, in many ways that feels like that's not really... Okay, I'm going to have to scrape some of that, because otherwise that's going to be nowhere near enough. Hang about. Okay, I've scraped out as much as I can, and I think what we might end up doing is, like, taking this and, like, cutting it in half and folding it on itself. And that way we'll end up with, yeah, two long slim noses, but, like, put together, what we're gonna get is, like, you know, one proper nose of appropriate length and also thickness. And this is gonna be fine for the head, like, probably. And words we're losing, are we losing too much Darth Vader, or, like, not enough Darth Vader? I don't know. Anyway, those are going in the oven now, okay? Gonna be for 35 to 45 minutes. So yeah, this one's gonna be done first, I assume. This one's gonna take longer, because you're like, it's literally deeper. Okay, now while that's happening, fortunately, I've got more to get on with. In particular, yes, now I've got to make the icing, because there is one problem with carrot cake. The great evil that carrot cake just cannot seem to bloody get away from. And that is that everyone insists on filling the damn thing and covering it up with cream cheese-based fillings and toppings and dilly-dilly-dee. And no, why are you ruining a really good carrot cake by doing that, you stupid bastard? Put a nice lemon drizzle on it, put, like, anything on it that's not cream cheese. I hate cream cheese. And it's why I can never have a nice carrot cake when I'm out and about, because everyone always puts cocky cream cheese on them. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to put a nice light pale caramel sauce on it, because by the looks of it, that should be about the same colour as Ted. So, okay, the problem I've got here is, yes, this means I've now had to go over to a different recipe, because the done first recipe obviously was using cream cheese. Screw that recipe, we're now going off the damn map, so I found a different recipe that's got a nice caramel icing, so we're gonna use that. The downside of this recipe, though, is, yes, unfortunately, we're back into metric land, like a bunch of sensible plebs, and I can't do it. I'm not willing to do this. 200 grams of softened butter, 400 grams of icing sugar. No, I can't go back. I'm enjoying caveman cookery too much. Alright, just stick 1 cup of one thing, 1 spoon of another, bing, bang, boom, let's go. But fortunately, I don't need to worry about this. I don't need to flipping measure anything, because first things first is the butter. And as many of you will know, there's a trick with the butter. So all you do, you see, I remember things from previous episodes of the anniversary special. So you just unwrap the butter like this, and then you just fold the... I've been betrayed! No, I'm not having this, okay? I'm not weighing this, you can't make me. It wants 200 grams of softened salted butter. I'm gonna be honest, it's been in the fridge, so it's not softened, but whatever. This is 250 grams. So if I literally just cut, like, approximately 80% of it, then that's going to be about 200 grams, okay? There we go. There's your butter. No cooking measuring for me. Also, I feel like, once again, I may have selected an excessively small bowl, because it's already looking, like, very full. And, like, yes, we've not added, like, the other ingredients yet, especially as... Right, the next ingredient is, like, twice as much. 400 grams of... icing sugar. Gotcha. Okay, I found a bigger bowl. 400 grams of this need to be added in. It's a kilogram right now. So, like, if I put in, approximately, like, 40% of what was in this packet when it's lying flat, then that should be, like... It feels like a tiny bit more. There we go. Factoring in there was some splash, that's about 40%. This doesn't feel like it's... I may need to artificially soften this. I'm just going to pop this in the microwave for like 10 seconds and we'll see what happens next. Okay, I've lowered the microwave down to like its lowest setting. Butter's in for like 20 seconds. I'm standing back in case it explodes. It's not exploded yet. Okay? No explosion, good start. And it's definitely more soft. But I still can't whisk it. Right, let's try 30 seconds at 50% power. Okay, I've got some liquid butter, and like this butter's pretty squishy. You know what? I'm gonna say that is a decent result. Let's give it a damn good stabbing with... Okay, now it's literally just stuck in that. Okay, it's fine. Just give it a bit more of a stabbing. It'll... Okay, apparently icing sugar really enjoys being dramatic, because I swear it is making needlessly dramatic, like, big splashes all the time. So just keep going. Okay, so the whisk is absolutely useless. What I've realised is, yes, if I kind of just do a kneading motion, it does seem to be blending together the butter and the icing sugar. I'm not sure if it's like, you know, being blended together in a way that's good, but it is coming together in a, you know, sort of combination. Whether I describe it as light and airy, I don't really know, but like, it's getting increasingly easy to get my fingers through, so I'm going to call this a win. You know what? I'm going to say that's actually pretty bloody good. So next up, we just pour in some caramel. I've got 450 grams here. Recipe says... Hang about, that's the wrong page. 70 grams, so approximately is that about 1/6? Yeah, that's about 1/6. So not much, just like a little bit. Just pour that in. Lovely, lovely caramel. Right there, was that a 1/6? A tiny bit more. I mean, it's caramel. More is good. And now we're going to try whisking again. And now that I've kind of done, you know, some of the harder work by myself. And what this should do is, oh yeah, look at this. It is a lovely, kind of light golden brown colour, which is precisely the colour. Oh, this is actually Ted-coloured. This is actually going to be accurate. Like, at the bare minimum, we're already ahead of the tabby cake, because this is actually, you know, light tan dog colour. This is actually correct. Okay, it's been 35 minutes since the cake went in, and this is where I start running into problems, because it says insert a toothpick into the cake and it should come out clean. I don't have a toothpick, so I used a knife. Now, the knife has come out, like, without any actual goo on it, but, like, there's clearly, like, signs of something on there, like, I don't know, it might just be steam or liquid or something, but I'm not 100% sure whether that means it's done or not. Maybe I'll just give it like 2 more minutes. Here we go. Moment of truth. I'm going to try and get these out at this point. So, yeah, I'm just going to very carefully see if it looks like it's okay. Sort of holding together, just very gently. Now just move you out the way for a second. Number 2 is going to be more interesting because the baking paper. Oh dear. Okay, it's sort of. Oh. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Okay, Ted's nose, I'll admit, it's not looking great, but on the plus side, there's free bit over here. Hang on. That's not terrible, you know. That's actually alright. Okay, good. We've got a good starting point here. That's actually edible cake. The tricky bit, mind, is going to be, yes, like, unwrapping it. So, okay, just very gently. See if we can just sort of remove you from... Okay, that's sticking a bit. Should have used more of the spray. Apparently just a little bit more. It's really bloody hot, actually. Ow. Okay, it's fine. I think we've got you removed from that. Good. So, okay, you can just cool there for a minute. But I think, yes, the bit we're all waiting for is how much is Darth Vader's face going to be, like, legible at this point? Okay, just, you know, very carefully. Like we were literally performing the surgery on Anakin right now. Just, like, do not accidentally peel his face off or anything. Just very careful. You know what? Best thing. Rotate the whole thing. And now see... Oh, flip. I think I could see, like, there's definitely some Darth Vader going on. And now, very carefully... That kind of feels like, yes, we might have... Okay, so it's definitely Darth Vader. That's distinctly Darth Vader right there. So, okay. I think if we, like, put, say, you know, some of this onto here, just to extend the snoot outwards, we might have something that's... I mean, okay, fine, we're gonna have to slightly, like, you know, pad it out with some lovely icing at the back there. But, like, I think we've got something that might sort of work here. So I'm gonna split that in 2. So this is about to become Ted's nose. Okay, so that's all absolutely fine, just like that. So I'm gonna be absolutely a-okay. Managed to slightly shorten that. Like, yeah, I think maybe a tiny bit shorter might work a tiny bit better, which is great. Because that means I can just have a slice of this, like, right now. So that's a big chunk of pecan. I feel like, yes, the pecans would not, like, dice anywhere near it. Hang on. No, probably here. Yeah, you can really taste the giant pecans. But other than that, it's actually quite good. So what I'm going to use is a drinking straw. Just insert that through here. Then insert that into Darth... Okay, I need a bit of a shorter drinking straw, as it turns out, because that one literally hits the surface. Hang on. Just insert that into there. Insert that into there. And there we go. We've got ourselves the beginning of a dog. But, crucially, as for this other bit I've left over here, that I am just going to slice diagonally in an M shape, like this. And then again, like this. And the reason for that is because, obviously, that means all of a sudden we've got ourselves some dog ears for Lord Vader. Okay, right now, it doesn't look like 100% right. Fully appreciate that, but that's fine, because if you think about it, yes, these ears, they're more of like a ginger tan colour, just like Ted's actual ears. So if we just remove the, yes, snoot for the time being, now what we need to do is ice the whole thing. So we just take the icing and now we just apply a good layer of that to Lord Vader to turn him from the Dark Lord of the Sith into a very good boy. What I think is very important though is, yes, we leave a little strip right here at the top of Vader's mask. Because Ted has, yeah, sort of gingery tan eyebrows. And this here, that represents that pretty well. So yeah, we've got the eyebrows right there. And what Ted has also got is lovely brown eyes. And Joe, I was thinking of just using chocolate buttons for the end of the nose, but actually given you've got this wide section right here, actually, just leaving the end of the nose without any icing, that kind of creates the illusion of a nose quite well already. Especially if, hang on, I just literally dig 2 nostrils out by hand right there. So yeah, if we just then at that point insert this back into here, but there we go, right there. As you can see, it's starting to look like a dog. It's not starting to look like a dog at all. But okay, no, we're not done yet. It's actually starting to look more like a duck. That's actually quite duck-like in a way. Okay, so in some ways, it does look like a dog. The problem we've got is it doesn't look like Ted. But I think there is a dog out there that this cake looks like. If you've got a dog that looks like this cake, let me know. Because I really feel like we're definitely close to a dog. In a way, this is a better dog than the tabby cake was a cat. But is it a better Ted cake than the tabby cake was a tabby? It's time to bring in Claire and get her hot take on it. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what the red thing is down below, okay, the muzzle would just straight up fall off if it wasn't supported. It's definitely on its way out. So I just kind of, put the bicarbonate of soda down there just to make sure it didn't fall. So it kind of looks like, he's panting with a big red tongue. So that kind of adds the illusion in a way. Okay, we've got a Claire, and I present to you the greatest dog cake that has ever existed that totally 100% looks like Ted's. Okay, I will say this. Do you not agree it is roughly the right colour?
Roughly.
Would you not agree it also looks in some ways like a dog?
Yes, who's eating bicarb of soda?
The nose falls off if that's not that.
Yeah.
I concede I'm not 100% sure it looks like Ted's.
I think it looks more like Ted in the camera than in real life. Because it looks like a...
Thank you for just showing up and telling me that it's worse than it looks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't listen to Claire, it's not worse than it looks, it's fine, it's even got Ted's eyebrows. I made sure it got the eyebrows, you'd never know that was Darth Vader. Next up, we just have to cut a bit of the cake for Claire.
No.
Okay, good. I was hoping for some form of reaction because that indicates that yes, the cake is too cute to cut. So Claire, you just eat a little bit of the offshoots over there, a tiny bit of an offshoot. How is the cake? Because I'm going to be honest, there was a bit of loose measuring going on.
It's good, but I'm not sure how carroty it is.
I put so much carrot. Actually, I'm going to be honest, I kind of got bored of grating the carrots about halfway through the carrots. I think there could have been more carrots.
I'm shocked.
I think I got bored grating carrots. I've made a dog cake that doesn't look like our dog and a carrot cake that doesn't taste of carrots.
Well, I'm still eating it, so...
Right, so basically we failed on it. Okay, we failed the brief. The brief has been failed. Literally nothing about this cake works. Okay, she's not wrong. Actually, from this angle, it does look significantly worse. I basically, gave you very much a setup shot that looked at least somewhat okay. Just if you just kind of take this out, then that happens. And then the whole thing becomes slightly sad. So there you go. That's my best attempt at a Ted cake. I'm having some of this too. Okay, that is aggressively sweet. Too much caramel. That's okay. Possibly, yes, there's a reason people use cream cheese. Because that is way too sweet. The cake and the icing together, that is too much. That's way too much, actually. Okay, screw it. We're going to fix the outro by simply, putting Ted in it. There we go. There's proper Ted. We're going to have some proper Ted here. That's better. So that there was the Many a True Nerd 10th anniversary special, where basically it turns out I failed on every possible metric I made a cake that doesn't taste or look like it should do, but you know what? I don't care, because we've got a Ted, he's a good boy, and he's absolutely lovely. So, here's to 10 years, here's to 10 more who flipping knows. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out with us on this incredibly dumb, ongoing, decade-spanning adventure at this point, and I'll see you next year for number 11. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been the Many a True Nerd 10th Anniversary Special. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Claire, show off what the butter packaging does. That's amazing!
25, 50, 100, and then 110
If you need to hide the butter, you just fold the packaging onto the butter and it... that's amazing! That's such a good idea!
See,
How
John
long
is
has butter been doing this?
forever.